Time for another episode of Overrated, Underrated. And this week I'm going to go first. Who did we have last week? Beckham and... Who was the other player?
Martial.
Who did I choose last week? Martial. Right, well, let's see if you can guess. I'll go first this week. Let's see if you can guess who it is based on these little clues, all right? You ready? I bet you get it in one.
What?
He's played 157 games and scored 6 goals for Manchester United.
When the 7 scored 6 goals? Okay, I know I'm not going to get it in one.
No. He's captained club and country.
Like
to be fair, these are pretty vague. These clues are pretty vague.
I have one in my head with, like, it's just the appearances. Well, I'm pretty sure like he had more appearances.
Just let it out then.
Is it Evra?
No.
Okay.
26 goals.
26? I heard 6.
Oh, 6. Sorry, 6. Yeah. Well, Ibra scored around...
Evra.
Oh, Evra. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's not Pat. It's not Uncle Pat.
No. Another
one last clue.
Yeah.
He was once a world record transfer.
He was once a world record transfer. Okay, so world record transfer. I think no. Is it Rio?
Pardon?
Rio?
No, it wasn't. It was. Shall I put you out of your misery, or do you want another guess?
No. Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna get it right every time.
It was Jacob Harry Maguire.
Oof.
Which I found out today. Jacob is his first name and Harry is his middle name.
Well, he wasn't like a world record transfer. He was like transfer for a defender, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's why, like, I started thinking like of Rio, Andy Cole. Wow, like,
yeah. I had to stifle you because you're too good at these. So technically, he was a world record transfer at one point for a defender. That's a small problem, mate.
That's a very good one.
Yeah. So I thought it was a good one because he's still currently playing, and I think he splits fan opinion quite a matter of factly down the middle. I think we saw the best and the worst of him yesterday. He had like a decent first half, commanding headers, won his duels well, and then the second half he just fell to bits. So where do you rate him? Is he overrated or underrated for you?
Underrated. That's easy for me, honestly. Like I have a lot of opinions about Maguire and how he's been treated. So yeah, no, to me he's been underrated.
Okay, I think I inclined to agree with you. I think he has been underrated, and I think if he'd have come in for 20 million as a centre back from Leicester City, there wouldn't be these enormous conversations about whether or not he was a flop for Manchester United or not, because he's been a great servant. And to come back from being stripped of the captaincy and then dropped to the bench, and he's somehow found his way back into the first team. I know through injuries, but he's stayed and he's been there and he's tried his hardest. And when we've called upon him, he's actually done the business. Sometimes bad business, but business all the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. Honestly, like Maguire proved not just this season, even last season, he proved how a professional should act in any field of work, not just football. Honestly, he's amazing from that aspect. He dug his heels in, even when everyone wanted him out, the fans, even the club were trying to sell him to West Ham the summer before. But yeah, like like you said, he was persistent. He stayed, and like the things he had to deal with, honestly, it's just ridiculous for some reason. It's 90%. It's because of the price tag that he had, but he had a dip of form, which is normal. But he had that dip of form when I want to say like when Cristiano came in for some reason. Like maybe it's not associated, but in my head it is like a bit because he was the captain for so long, for like ever since he came in, and then when Cristiano came in, everyone was like, how is Maguire gonna captain Cristiano Ronaldo? Like, how is Maguire gonna be the captain? And I think that like knocked his self belief, his confidence. He started making mistakes, and everyone just piled on him. And he had that was his worst season. But yeah, ever since like he built himself up again. He's been getting injured a bit for the past 2 seasons, but ever since Amram came in, everyone agrees like he's improved so much, and he's a vital player in the system now. And even everyone forgets the first season he came in, and the second season, he was unbelievable. Honestly, he was unbelievable. Right. That first season, when we ended up third, I think, at the league. He was very, very important. He was scoring important goals as well. People seem to forget. Like when we needed, especially we needed the win against Chelsea away in that season. I think it was 2019, 2020. So that we can start pushing for top 4. And he scored in the away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. This following season, when we went on that run, when we kept on having comebacks, going on that unbeaten run away from home, he was unbelievable. So yeah, people seem to forget that, but I feel bad for him. But he proved honestly, his story is, I think it can be an example for so many players. Like no matter how bad it gets, you can always like come back.
And I think there's a fair few players in this current Manchester United squad that could learn a thing or two from him in terms of having a backbone, knuckling down and trying to get the work done. Links very closely to Marcus Rashford, who decided that he wasn't going to do that anymore. But that's the end of that tale. But I think Maguire, he's been, as I said before, a loyal servant to Manchester United, and he's done things that he's needed to do. When he was chipping in with those goals, as you say, it really felt like we had an aerial threat and a great way of trying to create goals from set pieces. That's died off a lot recently, which again is just our set pieces are dreadful. I can't remember the last time we scored from one, but you'll probably tell me that it was last week. But I just can't. It just never seems to have that aerial threat anymore. But in terms of his overall game, he's there every week. He's there, like he's marshalling the defence. He's trying to do his best. He's training hard, and managers see something in him. I mean, even Ten Hag reinstated him towards the end. Amram likes the cut of his jib as well. So I think fans do tend to forget that centre-back is a really difficult position to play, and not everyone makes it in the Premier League, but at least he's got the pedigree to carry on, especially as England captain and Manchester United captain before. Well, one last thing on Maguire before we go onto yours. He's the subject of one of my Mandela effects. Do you know what Mandela effect is?
I think you explained it to me once, but I seem to forget.
It's when you think that something happened when in actual reality it never did. So it's there's various examples of this, but the one that I'm going to give you is relevant to this right now. Is I always thought that Maguire, in my head, was part of the Leicester City Premier League winning squad, and he never was. And every time, it's one of those things that just sticks in my head. Even though I've researched this years ago, and I know that he never won the Premier League title with Leicester City, it's one of those things that in my head every now and again goes, yeah, he's a Premier League winner. He won the Premier League, right? No, he did not. And it's unlikely that he will do with Manchester United anytime soon. Anyway, who've you got then? Let's do the clues for yours. Overrated, underrated.
All right, so he
That
played
you researched for hours and hours before this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Definitely didn't do it just 2 minutes ago.
No, I actually I changed the player like while we were talking now.
Okay.
Okay, so he played 119 times for Manchester United, and he scored 12 goals.
19 games, 12 goals.
119, 12 goals.
And 12 goals. Is it Daily Blind?
No, that's a good one though.
Okay, I'll do that one next week.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, one more clue. Or another clue, please.
Okay, he was a deadline day signing.
Deadline day signing. 12 goals, you say?
12 games.
100 games. Deadline day signing.
Some important goals in there as well.
Oh. No. Drawn a blank. Go on. Last one.
Okay. I think this clue is going to give it away. He was famous for his hair.
Famous for his hair? Maguire and Fellaini?
Yeah.
Could have said anyone. Well, Fellaini's a good one. We had this conversation. Did we have this conversation a couple of weeks ago?
I think I was about to go off, and then you were like, okay, no, I'm gonna have to hear it like properly next time. So.
Yeah, because I think we talked about Moyes' Summer of Madness when all the players that he'd signed and we was rating them whether they were good or bad. I can't remember what I said at the time. I think I
forgot about that.
I think we talked about who was it was each manager's best signing, and it was between him and Fellaini. Yeah, and I said it was between Mata and Fellaini. Sorry, and I picked Mata, but only because it was 1 out of 2, and you said Fellaini. But I'd say he was underrated. Hindsight's a beautiful thing with any of these things. Whenever we're talking about players of the past, I think his signing was kind of that his career was typified by the fact that Moyes signed him. Moyes was a failure, and we only signed 2 players, and this was, Fellaini was one of them, like a battering ram, essentially, when we needed more elegant players like a Fabregas, for example. But I think in the right system, I think even in this team now, he'd do a job, because he's a physical presence that would just be, up there. You can imagine him chesting it down to Bruno, and Bruno just lashing in goal after goal after goal. Because that's what he did well. He wasn't a terribly skillful player. He wasn't like he wasn't going to score you 20 goals a season, but he was always a threat in and around the box. And even in midfield, when he had to do the dirty work, he was there. He was there to do that as well. So, yeah, I don't mind saying that he was underrated. I think back then I probably would have said that he was overrated when he was at Everton. I think it's fair to say that. I think a lot of Manchester United fans would have said he was overrated, and why the hell were we signing him? But I think when he came in and we saw what he could do, and he, as you say, he did score important goals for Manchester United. I think it's fair to just go back and say, yeah, he was underrated for us, and he did a good job in a bad team.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the listeners go back to the episode, like you were saying, yeah, they're gonna get my thoughts. But yeah, just to recap what I was saying and not repeat. Yeah, I think he was very underrated. I think his story, or like Maguire's story, reminds me a bit of his, because it's about them getting unnecessary slack from the fans just because of things that are out of their control, like out of the players' control, where for no reason at all they just get some unnecessary slack, and that affects them and their families, and it's not easy. So yeah, like I think, like you said,
I don't think that affected him though. I don't think he was ever affected by stuff like that. I never really saw him with his head down. Like he was always one of those like that would just get angry by it. So I think he handled. I thought he handled that pressure kind of
yeah,
all right compared to Maguire, where you could kind of see him folding. Like he just didn't seem to be the same person anymore. Once he was undermined by Ronaldo and then Ten Hag taking the captaincy off him,
yeah.
you could see that he lost a lot of it. But Fellaini, I don't remember ever watching him play and thinking like, oh, he's affected by this.
Yeah, I honestly I remember him like when he scores a goal, he celebrates in a way that he's trying to prove something to the fans. Like, okay, you keep on giving me this slack, but look, I'm scoring, I'm doing well, and no one gives me credit for it. So yeah, I thought, I don't know, like personally, I thought it affected him because it could have turned out way differently for him at United. But he was really good. He was really good. Honestly, like he's one of those, I want to say like unicorns, you know, like players with honestly attributes that you don't find. Like it's not so easy to find these attributes in players. He's tall, he's strong. He actually had quite a good touch on the ball, which is not like if you look at him,
a good touch for a big man. No.
Exactly, like a very good touch for a big man. Like, and he also like had that feel for scoring, so he knew where to be. He scored like some tap ins. The headers he used to score, honestly, like one of the like most bona fide, like guaranteed patterns of play to score a goal was Young crossing it to the back post and Fellaini being there with a header. Honestly, like under Van Gaal, under Mourinho. And he was a very, very good plan B to have. Like when you're trying to just play it on the ground, but it's not working. When you're trying to like just be so technical with the creating chances and it's not working, honestly, just put him on. He's always gonna win the header. He's always gonna control it on his chest. He's always gonna bypass. I mean, you have like a way to bypass the whole midfield by playing that ball. And like I said, he used to score important goals. Like even when I was end of his, like closer to the end of his career at United, when it was with Mourinho. If you remember, like in the Champions League group stage, and we needed the win. And I think it was against Young Boys, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, like last minute header, Fellaini wins it, and we're through to the next round, to the knockout stage. That's when, if you remember, like when Mourinho grabbed that like water bottle thing and like he threw it to the ground. I don't know if you remember.
I do remember.
Yeah, so and then like when Ole came in, he just phased him out because like he wanted to play a different style. But honestly, he was very underrated, and it's sad like to see like he went to China afterwards, and he retired I think about 2 years ago. He was always brilliant. Like I really loved Fellaini. I also like the first time I ordered a shirt from the official Manchester United store was when he first came in. Was the home kit with his name on the back. So yeah, like I was very excited when he came.
Now I'm Fellaini super fan. I never had you down as that, mate, but that's fine. That's good. If he isn't doing anything right now, Jason Wilcox should do us all a favour, get him on the phone and see if he can do a job for us for the rest of the season, because God knows we need someone up front that can actually pose a physical threat.
Maybe it's one of those signings you're talking about.